Alright, let's talk about NASCAR in Nashville. Let's talk about the Cracker Barrel 400 because there's a bunch of different storylines without talk about the implication for things like the playoff picture. Because firstly, whilst the winner was incredibly impressive, there were other drivers who were really good on the day as well. Ryan Blaney won and is now in the playoffs. He only just got the most points on the day, however. He got 54 points. On 53 points was the third place finisher. The number 11, Denny Hamlin, had a good day, started right up at the front, qualified on the front row alongside teammate Chase Briscoe. There was a chance that Hamlin wasn't racing in this one, expecting the birth of his son, so he was like, maybe, maybe not. And it is a valid reason to have a playoff waiver. But won stage 1, was third in stage 2, was third overall at the end of the race. Ryan Blaney was 7th in stage 1, won stage 2, and won the race. Between them, however, was Carson Hocevar. And Hocevar has been... I said earlier this season, he is like NASCAR's George Russell. He also looks a bit like George Russell and has the same kind of reputation of George Russell, let's say circa 2022, right? Hocevar's rapid. He's not in the front-running machinery, but by all means, at the same time, Spire is competitive. And he's up at the front quite a bit. He's up at the front more than other people in the organisation who you would have expected to see up towards the front end. And he's doing that quite consistently. Now, he does also get involved in incidents. This week's one, he ended Ricky Stenhouse's consecutive finishing streak. Stenhouse had finished every race so far this season, hadn't gotten many top 10s, I think, what was it, 2 top 10s, don't know if he had any top 5s of the year, I'll have to double check that in a moment, but he just drove in too hard. Now, Stenhouse, you could say, well, he shouldn't have come down like he did, but at the same time, this is the thing with Hocevar, is he's still a young driver. This is what, his second year in Cup. He's showing good potential. He's making good on that potential and promise that we thought he had when we saw him in trucks. I mean, I've raced against him in the next gens in iRacing, and he is competitive there as well. But yeah, NASCAR's George Russell. I should really do a video at some point which compares, say, F1 drivers to NASCAR drivers or any other series. Because I feel like that's one that I haven't really seen many people say. But to me, it makes sense. However, there are other performances which just, well, they don't seem strange, but they are varied. I mean, Joey Logano getting 4th place, fair run by him in the end. All 3 Penske's have won this season. Byron ending up finishing in 5th. He did good with that one. Qualied 3rd, ran well at some points. Bubba Wallace dropped down, 2 laps and came back to finish 6th. His teammate Tyler Reddick was 9th in the end, started 4th, lost a lap really early on and came back to the top 10. Eric Jones was there or thereabouts for a lot of the race over the night. And yeah, he did really well. Legacy have really come into their own this year. And it proves that the 3rd place that Jimmy Johnson got in the Daytona 500 wasn't just a fluke, wasn't just down to luck in that last lap wreck. Legacy have got something. They seem to have figured out a lot of the next-gen cars. They seem to have figured out the Toyotas in the 2nd year after their switch. But then you have other people who you don't know why they are where they are. Chase Elliott. Qualied 11th, finished 15th. At the same time, Brad Keselowski, who he ended up leading laps, he qualied 6th, he's down in 23rd place. SVG, who was running up around 15th before we went to the final round of the green flag pit stops. Last car on the lead lap. It's good that he got the lead lap, it's good that he did that well on a long run. But he wasn't the top rookie on the day. That was Riley Herbst, who just finished just ahead of him. Again, both of them just about finished on the lead lap. Blaney just about behind them. Didn't lap them. But, yeah, I was surprised. SVG has had better form more recently. I think he did quite well when it came to things like the 600. But it didn't come together all at the end. But I think the last one that I do want to talk about, because it is really strange, is what happened with Alex Bowman. I mean, he's had such a hit and miss year. I'm surprised he hasn't won. Because there have been some times where he's shown good pace and ended up in someone else's wreck. But if you look at his finishing position, it is not Checo's wreck because he hasn't won, but it is top 10 or sub 20. I mean, let's talk about his top 10 finishes. A 6th in the 500, a 9th in COTA, 7th in Felix and Vegas, 2nd in Homestead, 7th at Dega, 5th in Kansas. And let's talk about the others. The next best is 26th in Atlanta, 27th in Martinsville, 29th in the 600, and then a 35th in Darlington, a 36th in Nashville, a 37th in Bristol. Oh, sorry, I forgot. 35th in Texas. But that is what, double the sub-30s that he has top 5s. It is so strange for Bowman the Showman, the guy who we know is quick. I mean, I've seen the Icebergs of the video with, do we need to talk about Chase Elliott? Chase Elliott's had similar kind of lulls, but he hasn't got the same kind of DNFs or sub-30 scores. Chase Elliott has been in the top 20 every race this season. But something just is not working for Alex Bowman. And yes, let's wrap this up by talking about the playoff picture. I believe the only person outside of the top 16 to have won is still Josh Berry. So that means that the top 15 in points would point their way in over if the playoffs were to start today. Byron leads quite comfortably now. He's on 547. Second place Carl Larson on 499. Christopher Bell in third on 459. Yeah, Byron hasn't won since the Daytona 500. He's had 3 second places on the year, a 3rd place, a 4th place, and a 5th place. He's just racking up the points, and especially with things like the stage points as well. He's on 153. The next best is Larson on 127. And then, I believe, is it Blaney now on 123? It's good to see Blaney win because where he's had the finishes that have been outside of the top 20, he's got, what, a 35th, 36th, 37th, and a 38th. Those don't tend to be his fault. They just tend to be blown motors. But elsewhere, the top 5 rounded out by Hamlin and Elliott. Down towards the cut line, Bowman is 12th on 334 points, the same amount of points as Chase Briscoe, with a lot more of them from the stages, mind you, but that's just showing what's happened in those late stages of the races to Bowman. Cindric is in 13th on 303. Now that is including the 50-point penalty he got for the contact with Ty Dillon and COTA. I mean, he's locked in anyway because of the win. Busch is still 14th despite the 60-point penalty for the Kansas stuff. Oh, sorry. I forgot. It won the appeal, didn't it? It reduced to 30. Kyle Busch is the guy on the transfer spot on 291. Just below him, Ryan Preece on 289. That is so interesting to me. What's almost as interesting, in fact, I think it's probably more interesting, is then 2 points below that, you have Hosfar. Another 2 points below that, you have Stenhouse, who, like I said, was above the cut line, but 39th place, going to drop below it. Then after that, AJ Allmendinger another point back. Then 6 points back, you have Josh Berry, who is in the playoffs, and Michael McDowell. that is a rather tasty looking playoff cut line at the moment. Because from 303 to 278. So in that 25-point range, you've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 drivers competing over the last 4 spots of the grid if we didn't factor in wins. We take out Cindric, take out Berry, and that's 7 over 3. It's a nice little battle we've got going on there. Anyways, those are my thoughts, observations, and feelings. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching and joining, folks. Till next time, it's bye for now.